Hey everyone, it's Midnight Spectre here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you almost all my plushies and some of the stories behind them. Somebody asked me to do a video about them, and I figured why not, it might be kind of fun. Maybe some of you guys in the comment section can tell me about some of your plushies. Now, I really can't show all my plush because that'd be a huge project to unearth my plush because I've destuffed a lot of them and packed them away because there was a time where I thought I was going to be moving to Arizona, and then I didn't. But I left them destuffed just in case I do want to move, which I hope to do in sometime soon. I bought some land for myself, and because forget buying a house in this market. Ace is helping today, and so let's begin. So I always thought these horses were kind of cute, but I never ended up buying one when they were in stores because I figured I'd end up seeing one at the thrift store for like a song and a dance, but they ended up actually being hard to find for some reason. I'm not sure if people are just holding on to them, or if a lot of them got tossed, which sadly happens to a lot of plush. But nonetheless, they're very cute, and I drove like 2 hours to pick this one up and ended up smelling like cigarettes, so I sprayed some natural odor eliminating stuff on them, and I'm letting them off gas on the end of my bed before I sleep with them. I'm not sure what's on this guy's face, but actually I do have another horse like this. But this one was kind of a special save because I happened to be browsing OfferUp years and years ago, and I saw they had this horse for sale for listed for a few days, and they said if it didn't sell by X date, they were going to trash it, and it was that date. So I messaged them, asked if they still had the horse, and they did. Luckily, that was a holiday, so trash collection was offset by a day. He's definitely been played with very well, but I love having him around, even if he hangs out in a hammock a lot. So, I have a ton of these Commonwealth unicorns and Pegasi because they're my favorite to collect. Just because they're the right amount of stylized meets realistic that I really like in a plush. Sadly, a lot of mine are packed away, but I have one of each color, I think. Of course, I recently found out in about 2020 or so, there are gigantic versions of these, which are like bigger than the 32-inch variant, so they're so rare that I've only seen maybe 3 of them, 2 which I know who they're owned by. Now this is one I got for an absolute steal of someone on Telegram. They're maybe like $50, shipping included. They have a sound box, but some of these plushies are old enough to drink, so the batteries in him are pretty tired. But honestly, this is the only large-sized Commonwealth horse I've seen like this. Most of them are like 14 to 24-inch size, but this one's about 32 inches. His name is Banana Split. This is actually a unicorn I've been looking for a while. I had gone back and forth of whether or which I would buy one if I ever saw one pop up. But every time I decided I would buy it, they were gone. I ended up paying up the nose for this one about $80, which honestly she's kind of worth it. I was never a big fan of the smiles like that, but I ended up cuddling her while I slept and she was really cute. The unicorn is named by the Dream brand, and I definitely did have great dreams cuddling this cutie. This unicorn's name is Tenderheart. She's a Goodwill save. Whenever I go to the grocery store, I always stop in at the Goodwill on the way to see what they have. Honestly, this Goodwill is actually pretty good with their plush selection. There's usually not a lot there that I want, but they always have a ton of plush. Anyway, I'm so glad to pick her up because you can tell she'd been previously cuddled because a lot of her glitter is gone on her horn and her front hooves, and she's a bit floppy, which I love. She does have both of her ears, just one is folded back right now. This is another Goodwill save. I got her from the shop Goodwill online auction, and you can tell by how matted her fur is that she's been played with too, as well as some of the embroidery coming done on part of her eye and eyebrow. Her name is Sweets because when I got her she had some candy and stuff stuck in her mane and tail. Okay, so I actually got this horse last week. I haven't named them yet, and I've kind of been letting them off gas because they kind of smell like an old house. But when I got them, I was hoping they'd be bigger, but they're 32 inches. Still a nice cow toy horse, though. I honestly love these horses because they're great for cuddles. This is my custom Pinkie Pie made by AZG Chip, and when I commissioned them, I didn't realize how big Pinkie Pie would be, but when I saw another post where somebody showing off a plush made by them, I was like, wow, I certainly didn't realize Pinkie Pie was going to be person-sized. Honestly, Pinkie Pie was one of my first favorite ponies next to Rainbow Dash because I loved how she always wanted to make other ponies smile, and I really liked that about her. As you can see, Ace brought up a bone to enjoy while I'm going through all my plushies. This is Sergeant Hooves. He's the second plush that I bought with my own money way back in maybe 2014 or so. Back on eBay, almost every listing for a giant horse was for an Animal Alley horse, so I have a lot of nostalgia for Animal Alley just because I remember seeing the giant Animal Alley display right when you walked into the old Toys R Us store, and wishing I could just bring one of these guys home with me. And I'm so glad to say I finally did. He's an absolute joy to cuddle. Now this one was too funny not to pick up, so personally when I'm shopping for plush, I tend to ignore stuff this small because generally they would get lost in my bed in the sea of giant plush I have. And my parents hate seeing my plush anywhere but my bed. They honestly would rather have none at all, but I mean, it makes me happy, so it's better than not having a yard full of broken cars or doing drugs or drinking every weekend. This is Blue Skies. You do not know how long, and I mean a long time, I've been searching for a blue Commonwealth Pegasus like this. I'm not sure if they didn't sell well because, gender stereotypes like blue is a boy's color, but horses, unicorn, and Pegasi are for girls and that stuff. But I was so happy when I saw an eBay listing for this one because it actually sold like a few hours before I found it. I messaged the seller and I'll give you $300 for it. I've been looking so long, and normally when I'm buying plush, I usually say it's for my niece, but I told them it was for me because they're so special to me. Luckily, they sold her to me, and I love sleeping with her. Funny enough, I ended up finding a second one on Facebook Marketplace not too long afterwards for $50, and I bought that one too. Normally, I don't have many duplicates of plush unless it's a plush I really like or a screaming deal, but I need another one like her. This is Princess Starsparkle. You've seen her before, but she's the first plush I've ever bought with my own money. I remember going to the thrift store and seeing her on the shelf with a bunch of other plush, and my heart just melted. This was back in 2012 or 2011 when I was in high school, and I only had a little spending money from my parents because at the time I had just gotten a car and I was able to drive myself around. For a while, she's my only plush I slept with, and you can tell. I've always been afraid to wash her because I don't want to ruin her, because you can always clean her, but once they get dry or burn, it's really a process to get them back to the process of looking how they looked before. I did end up purchasing another one like her, so I might try to wash her. You can tell I had some green bed sheets bleed out in her last week, even though I already washed the bed sheets once already. This is Antonio, another cow toy horse. This is the first cow toy horse I had waited, and I slept with him for every day for about a year after I got him. So he could use a good brushing and a bath, but he's weighted, so I really can't put him in the washer, so I'd have to surface wash him or something. But he's an absolute treat to cuddle with. I wish Cow Toy still made these giant horses because I'd tell everyone who's in the plush to buy out their entire stock. I haven't decided on the name for this horse yet. This is my 100 subs weighted horse, and I've slept with her for about a week. But honestly, I'm horrendous with coming up with names for my plush, so maybe someone in the comments could suggest one. This is Storm. He's a Goodwill save, and he's made of Best Made Toys. The horses are kind of the same style of cow toy horses, but it seems that Best Made Toys doesn't have the best quality control because I remember seeing another Best Made Toys horse, and that their face and neck kind of reminded me of a tube sock. But when I got him, I was trying to beat a winter storm, and I was trying to hit up all my favorite thrift stores before the storm got here, and the storm had just started when I walked out to my car with him, and that's where I came up with the name Storm. This is another cow toy horse. Her name is Cherry Blossom. I'm not gonna lie, I'm an absolute sucker for these cow toy horses. Whenever I see one for sale for a reasonable price, I'll pick one up. I think I have all the colors they made of these giant horses, but I'm sure someone will correct me, or I'll end up seeing an eBay or Facebook Marketplace listing that'll have me second guessing. I love how the seller even left a bandana on her. This is Sunday. She's a kid's preferred horse, and honestly, probably about the smallest plush I would get for myself, just because cuddling big plush is just so much more fun. But I got her from a thrift store I don't normally get to visit because sometimes they do have some crazy good stuff there. I remember one time I saw a bolt, but of course somebody had already bought it. I've got to go there again soon, but it's so far away from any other thrift store that I don't normally go there. So I might sometime soon, because I've been meaning to do a unique thrift store run. I'm not sure what it is about unique and savers, but they're usually better about stocking plush than a lot of other thrift stores. I have another horse like this that I've packed away, that I bought in like 2018 for $20, but this is Shortcake because other horses named it Strawberry, or I like to call her Strawberry Mare. I got this one off a Telegram for a steal as well. I'm not sure why, but these horses and unicorns have this weird look to them where they look angry or serious or something. I'm not sure if it's because the extra little piece of fabric they have for the eye to make it look like an eyelid, but nonetheless I love cuddling her. Ace is still helping by chewing a bone on my leg and making my pants all wet with drool. This is nutty. I recently found out that Animal Alley made 42 inches of versions of some of their dogs, and I guess there's also 60-inch versions as well, which I've never seen one in person or for sale, but I'm hoping one will pop up soon. But I got them off of Mercari for $90, which is a little bit steep, but I don't mind paying it because I knew that I wasn't going to find another one like them for a very long time if I passed them up. This is my custom Rainbow Dash made by Pony Malian. They've been making plushies forever, and I've always wanted them because they were one of my dream makers, besides Nasa Knight. Unfortunately, she doesn't make plush anymore, but I've always loved how their plushies looked, and there's always so many cute videos of them online. This is Copper. He's a 42-inch Animal Alley tiger that I picked up off of Letgo before they got bought out by OfferUp. He was about $20 and really close to me. I'm so happy that I found him, because these guys I've seen online or before are super rare, even back then. I actually flipped a tiger like this in a matter of minutes for $250 I had imported from Germany. They're really sought after. This is my Jag Giant Wolf. His name is Moon because I'm so terrible with coming up names. He's actually part of the last run of the Jag Giants before the Big C took them out. I paid $250 for him, and I'd always wanted a Jag. And I was finally in a position where I could afford one. I was going to buy a second one on credit, but with the White Wolf. because I liked him a lot, but they unfortunately sold out because I was too indecisive. This is an E and J horse that I got in a trade from somebody in Mexico. I had traded a giant Thumper plush for this horse and a big Macintosh BAB. I'm not sure why, but some of the plush in Mexico look kind of off. I don't know if E&J made a horse like this, or perhaps it was some weird rebranding thing with Caltoy and E&J, but nonetheless I'm glad to have them. Side note, when I got him, he had fishing lines stuck through him, so that was fun to cut out. So I asked a person who had got it for me why there's so much fishing line on him, and they said the previous owner had hung the horse up in their son's room from the ceiling. This is a 2-for-1 special. This is Jack and Patrina. This is kind of interesting story about how I got them. The person lists them on Facebook Marketplace for an absolute bargain, but they were states away from me and didn't really want to ship because they were actually kind of rude and they were kind of dodging my questions. They ended up messaging me that someone was coming to get them, and I was kind of bummed because I'd have to go look for more Caltoy horses somewhere. Anyway, maybe like an hour or 45 minutes later, they asked me if I was still interested, and of course I was. They explained to me that the person who was on their way to pick them up said that they were going to blow the horses up with fireworks, which is awful. But I'm glad they did tell the seller that, so I was able to get the horses and they weren't turned into a cloud of stuffing somewhere. But I usually keep them together and cuddle them together so to make sure they don't get confused with any of my Caltoy horses that look like them. I should get bandanas for them. Ace is still hard to work on that bone. She's so cute in my bed. But yeah, that's about all my plush. There's a couple others, like that fox buried under all my horses and that giant lion. He honestly could deserve a whole video on his own because apparently he was made by Lovesac. And they make like couches and beanbags and stuff, and the seller didn't really have any more info on him. So I may have to do some more digging on him. He could use a very good bath because how many years the kids been playing with him have not been kind to him. There's tons of stuff spilled on him and his mane is matted. And I actually bought him to be like a guinea pig for cleaning and repairing other plush to see what I could do. And to make sure I don't like ruin any other plush like him. But so I really like him though a lot, and I kind of honestly don't want to ruin him. So yeah, what's your favorite out of all of these? I would love to hear about your plushies as well. I hope everyone has a great day, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It'll put a smile on my face. See ya!